Welcome to Growing Old. CBD, why do we grow it?
We're growing old, the name you'll hear around. 'Cause we're planting seeds in sacred ground. We cultivate with purpose, heart and soul. Cannabis as medicine, that's our goal. In our greenhouse, sunshine streams and glows. Watching green leaves sprouting happy.
Okay, so we've seen a lot of comments asking us why we grow CBD. I've seen people talking about, how do you use it? What do you do with it? Other people saying, hey, I've pressed it, I've used the sift or this, that, I've smoked it, and I've tried all those, and yeah, those aren't for me either. But before we get into all that discussion, let's check out the CBD we're growing here. Okay, so we're out in the greenhouse, and this is our CBDs as they look today. And, they're really, really healthy. And last year, out of this entire greenhouse, I got close to 12 pounds. Now, what I would expect to get off of here is I'm expecting probably, half a pound each, maybe eight ounces, maybe a little more. That's a little guess. Don't hold me to it. So there's our CBD plants in real life. Let's talk more. The reason we grow it is, we like to use it for medical benefits for us and everything. And if you were to go and look into stores, it's expensive. I mean, whether it's a shampoo, a salve, some kind of a tincture, even their gummies, it's expensive. And I don't think you really know what you're going to get, I don't know if it's regulated. I don't believe it is. And you don't know how strong it is. You don't know how it was grown, how it was processed. And I don't believe CBD is regulated by the FDA. But growing our own, now that allows us to control the environment it's grown in. I mean, we put it in the pot with the soil that we like. We use the nutrients that we like. It's grown either outside in the sun while we watch it. I know there's nobody spraying it, or in the tent. More importantly, we know how it's processed, because I like solventless. Anything we process, except for the alcohol tincture, but everything else is solventless. And we can ensure that our CBD is exactly the strength and the strain that we want for our medication. The CBD we have out there, it's 30-1, so it's, it's 30 CBD, 1 THC. So it's very little THC. Now, it's kind of important to know that, because I've grown some, just said, hey, CBD, and grew it, and me and the dogs had some one morning, and it was 9% THC, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot for dogs. So you know what you're growing and stuff. Now, back to some people were asking about, well, how do you use it and this, that, and they explained what they did. We don't smoke it because, like I said earlier, it just wasn't there. But we infuse it into oils, butters, and we make tinctures here at home. Now, mostly what we like to do is we like to turn it into gummies. And these would be our CBD gummies. And what I like to do is I'll take 2 of these in the morning for all the aches and pains that are coming, and then I'll take 2 of these at night to help me relax and relieve all the aches and pains from that day. So kind of helps me sleep. But that's what we do there. And then the oil, when we're talking tinctures, of course we make two kinds, but the oil, like what's in these bottles, we just like to use for a little under the tongue. Some pain relief, reduces anxiety, because the CBD, you know, it's gonna like anti-inflammatory, and I'll talk about that here with the salve. But we've also made the other tincture out of alcohol, and I tried it, and man, I don't know how those guys do that, but no, that's not for me. So we just use that tincture to make the gummies. Now, you've seen a lot of our dogs run around. We have 3, 2 of them are older, and they kind of seem to benefit from the CBD in the oil, because I'll give them CBD every morning. Our oldest dog, yeah, she was slowing down, and then we started giving her the CBD, and then she would start playing. She just built up to playing. So, you know, it was great. I mean, and now she's had knee surgery, and I definitely make sure that she has her CBD every morning in her food, and she's healed perfectly. Now we put the oil in tincture bottles like you see here, and like I said, we'll use them for pain relief or a mood. It kind of helps your mood. We've made salve, and I had a bump on my finger, and I used that salve, and it took the bump away. So I don't know what the bump was, but it left. And my back is really bad, so it helps to reduce the pain there, and it helps reduce the swelling if you have arthritis. Now, we also make our own shampoo and conditioner. The missus likes it because she says it makes her hair shinier and smoother. Because if you've been to the store, it's expensive. Okay, so in closing, I'd just like to tell a true story, and it's kind of funny. When I was a sophomore in high school back in the 70s, the 1970s, I took a economics class, and we had to come up with a product, and we had to have, you know, an ad, we had to have a storyboard, we had to have a little jingle that we would play on our cassette player. And halfway through the semester, you had to go and see the instructor, and he would tell you how you were coming along. And so I went in there, and he asked what I was doing, and I said, my project, I'm making cannabis soap. And he just looked at me, and he said, that's a bad idea. I would change it. So I walked out of there, and being a 15, 16-year-old sophomore, I'm like, that idea is genius. So I just find it, I just wanted to tell that story because, you know, that guy, he wasn't a forward thinker, because here we are talking about walking down to the Piggly Wiggly and buying cannabis products and how expensive they are right there. Now we want to hear from you. What are your experiences with CBD, if any? Do you grow it? And if you do grow it, you know, what do you process with it, you know? Does it help you in any way? Because you know what, if it helps you, maybe it'll help somebody else watching this video. I'd like to thank the subscribers and viewers. We couldn't do any of this without you. We love your comments. Keep it up. Thank you.
Bigger, strong and tall, answering nature's ancient healing call. We love to grow weed and set our blood, a sacred plant.